Just as we were wrapping up the discussion with Sandeep Balakrishna on the Aam Aadmi Party, which he rightfully called India's first regime change operation, the Delhi election results are now in. AAP has been comprehensively trounced, and Delhi is back in good hands. What has been particularly delectable to watch has been the complete meltdown of the media. The media, which was silenced with the absolute obscene spends on advertising by the Delhi government over the last several years of their term. And this is exactly what we need to analyze with Sandeep Balakrishna. And we'll go through what it means from the media standpoint and what it means from the citizen standpoint. So let's continue the discussion with Sandeep Balakrishna. Thank you all for joining Dharma Podcast. Hello, Sandeep.
Hi, Parag.
Like I said, the results of the Delhi elections are in, and Aam Aadmi Party has been comprehensively trounced. What was unique about their multiple terms was the complete silence of the media towards all the rampant corruption and arrogance that was on obvious display, and yet there was not a pipsqueak. And therefore, it was very, very delectable to watch the meltdown of the mainstream media, who were fattened by the Aam Aadmi Party immediately after the elections. So, I'm sure you, like everyone of us, has seen most of these meltdowns. So, how do you see the media landscape getting affected by the demise of AAP? And also, what does it mean?
Yeah, lovely, Parag. The way you framed it, it brings great joy to my heart. So, but before getting into the topic, at the outset, let's congratulate each other, and let's also congratulate the citizens of Delhi in displaying some extraordinary wisdom and the comprehensive rout of the Aam Aadmi Party. Thanks to the Delhi voters, Delhi has finally been depolluted after, say, more than a decade. And we have some of the kind of slogans that we have seen ever since the results were announced. Jhadu loses its jadoo. AAP has evaporated. This is a kind of slogans that we are witnessing everywhere. And the best part is that all their top leaders, excepting Atishi Marlena, have been humiliated by the Delhi voters, especially the champion, the mascot of anti-corruption, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and Mr. Handsome, Manish Sisodia. They have lost their own seats, which is great. And like you said, in the last week's episode, I mentioned and we went back into the history showing how the Aam Aadmi Party was the first attempt at regime change in India. So that has been momentarily stopped. This kind of thing, there's a beautiful line in the classic work Alice in Wonderland, which basically says that you have to run twice as fast to stay in the same place. So mere electoral defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party can take the country so far, but there have to be systems and laws put in place to ensure that these forces will never come back, and there has to be active monitoring to ensure that such forces do not reincarnate in a different manner, wearing a different garb. To come to your main question about the lovely media meltdown in the wake of the Aam Aadmi Party's loss. Clearly, the greatest loss in this election, it was a loss for AAP, but the greatest loss was suffered by the media campaigners, media campaign managers, and cheerleaders in the media for the Aam Aadmi Party. But in passing, I have to say something. You see, Parag, nobody even spoke about the Congress Party and its infamous zero loss theory. So, when the great Mr. Kapil Sibal coined that term zero loss theory to describe monumental levels of corruption under UPA governments, he did not know, there was no way that he could predict how appropriate it would be to describe his own party's fate in all the elections since 2014. As I keep saying, 2014 was an epochal, history-altering election. So anyway, so Congress got 0 seats in Delhi. And this celebration is much less about the BJP's victory, but it's a greater celebration about the loss of the Aam Aadmi Party, and that message is really loud and clear from the voters. And even when you look at the overall national sentiment, the whole country has heaved a sigh of relief that this disgusting party has been voted out of power. On another level, not too many people, I think, have clearly analyzed the symbolism of the Aam Aadmi Party's electoral symbol, which is an infamous broom, disgusting jhadu. Okay, who keeps a broom as your electoral symbol, boss? But at the time that Arvind Kejriwal or whoever advised him to adopt this symbol, at the time that his party was launched, this broom had some significance as a symbol of a new political force that would clean up political corruption. What actually happened after that? Number one, Aam Aadmi Party became more corrupt than all political parties put together. And it was not only just corrupt, but it was also divisive and openly anti-national. Openly aligning with all kinds of breaking India forces, taking money for them. So I say that AAP became more corrupt than all the political parties put together because the scale of corruption, the sheer impunity with which they did this corruption in a semi-state, in a glorified municipality like Delhi, that, you have to put it in proportion and compare it to, say, someone like something like the DMK or Sharad Pawar or all those other jokers. So a sense of proportion gives you this kind of analysis. Number two, what is the exact place of a broom in our homes? Where is a broom kept? It is either kept in the bathroom or in the loo. In other words, it is kept far away from common sight. The Aam Aadmi Party broom, in complete violation of this common decency, it tried to occupy a prominent place in the living room and in the dining hall of the Indian public life. No wonder Delhi public life, Delhi politics, and even the state of Delhi itself became dirty, filthy, and with sewers overflowing and Yamuna polluted. So this is what happens when you elect a broom. And no wonder that Delhi people had enough of this dirt and they threw away the broom. So what really was Kejriwal thinking about when he openly accused the BJP of putting poison in the river Yamuna? Yeah. Really?
By any standard, this is the lowest statement in Indian politics.
Right? So he faced the just desserts anyway. And it's not just that you have to give it to the man. If a sociopath has a face, you are looking at Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. And I say this because even in his speech conceding the defeat, Kejriwal again lied with a straight face when he replayed his old record once again. हम राजनीति में सत्ता के लिए नहीं आए, जनता की सेवा के लिए आए. And you built that infamous Sheesh Mahal by doing seva? How do you lie like this? And now I think, Parag, with this kind of a backdrop, like a preface, we can get into the meat and the most delicious part of today's podcast episode, which is the media meltdown. So I think a good media eminence to begin with, to do the honors, the inaugural guest of the meltdown is Shri Rajdeep Sardesai, who bears an uncanny resemblance with the epitome of corruption, the epitome of honesty, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. So, like Mr. Kejriwal, Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai is also the epitome of honest and transparent and neutral journalism. In this series of media meltdowns, Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, as usual, tops the list as the prize winner of the Aam Aadmi Party's electoral defeat.
So the top honors go to him.
Inaugural guest. So we'll do him honors. Rajdeep Sardesai, he's done a small video on his own private channel where he has given a hilarious list of something called a 10-point analysis of the Aam Aadmi Party's defeat. Let's decode just some of it. This paragon of journalistic virtue he calls Aam Aadmi Party as India's first political unicorn. What does that even mean? What does a political unicorn mean? He has clearly mixed up metaphors, and as usual, he's comparing apples to oranges out here as well. But to extend his own third-rated analogy, Rajdeep Sardesai's comparison of the Aam Aadmi Party to a political unicorn, a unicorn falls in the business parlance, in entrepreneurial parlance. So, by using this kind of third-rated analogy, Sardesai clearly sees politics as business, which is exactly what Arvind Kejriwal has done. Politics fundamentally is public service. We elect people on our behalf so that they do our work, make our lives easier, simpler, better, address our grievances, ensure that we live in a state of peace, security, harmony, and other nice things. So if you convert it into a business, it is dog eat dog. So I mean, there is some kind of a logical consistency in Rajdeep Sardesai comparing Aam Aadmi Party with a political unicorn.
It's largely English without substance in this case.
Totally. Well said. Totally. After this, his central thesis in the so-called 10-point analysis seems to be to downplay, exonerate, and absolve Arvind Kejriwal's serial wrongdoings with, there is a classic line in his, and I quote from his 10-point analysis. He says that Delhi has become a bit of a mess. Okay. And he further says that this bit of a mess itself is a perception, it seems. Yamuna overflowing with filth is perception. Yamuna being polluted is perception. Sheesh Mahal is an act of national service. Delhi liquor scam is public service. Okay, so these are all perceptions. Okay, that, look at the lengths to which these guys go, and how much of a mess is a bit of a mess. Let's have some yardsticks. How much of a mess is a bit of a mess?
Otherwise, even if a tap leaks in Jhumri Talaya, Modi is accountable.
Absolutely. Because, Ramchandra Guha, in one extraordinary piece, I forget that forget the title of the piece, but the way he has gone about blaming Modi for everything, he wrote this way back in 2015. So he goes about blaming Modi, abusing Modi of everything. So I had written a rebuttal where I said that, during sunrise and sunset, the sun in the sky takes on a color of saffron. So therefore, the whole world, the whole universe is also being governed by BJP. So this is how these fellows do it. Anyway, next, let's look at what Mr. Kejriwal does. Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai says. Rajdeep Sardesai credits the Congress party first raising the Delhi liquor scam and for targeting Kejriwal. What about the BJP, which went after Kejriwal, exposing him ever since his first term? That whole narrative that started, the expose of Kejriwal in just 49 days of the mess that he made when he took office for the first time,
and fled.
Who exposed it and fled? Bhagoda,
correct.
So Kejriwal, Rajdeep Sardesai doesn't want to bother with all these uncomfortable truths. So he gives credit to Congress for raising the Delhi liquor scam. But what he does not mention is the fact that the scam is real. It's not an accusation. And as usual, Sardesai gives grudging credit to the BJP's campaign.
Absolutely.
Okay, grudging credit. In his climax, in point number 10 of his alleged analysis, Rajdeep Sardesai talks about how there was no level playing field in these Delhi elections. But you see, Parag, in the last two elections, both of which were won by Aam Aadmi Party, the BJP was much stronger with 303 seats and 282 seats. Despite that, Aam Aadmi Party won 2 successive victories. Yeah, go ahead.
So he also, sure you notice this, his content is exactly the way it is fed by the Congress of which he is much affectionate about. The other points, I don't know about this particular analysis. The bunkum has been
Hmm.
that if you add the vote share of AAP and Congress, they would have won.
Hmm.
It has been debunked comprehensively.
Yeah.
Nota got more than Congress in some seats.
Absolutely.
Congress lost deposits in
Yeah,
65 seats.
yeah.
And the other, he maintains that if Kejriwal had not done ABC, he would have trounced BJP, convincingly again. So the delusion continues.
They
And it is the
continue.
same narrative that Congress has peddled.
See, he can't stomach the fact that the BJP has won
Yeah.
against the Aam Aadmi Party. In both the previous elections in which Aam Aadmi Party won, the dynamics were pretty much the same. What Sardesai has also done is that he's taken another extremely dangerous and a very debased step. He has attacked the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi and he stopped short at calling him a BJP agent. This is what he's done. And he blames the LG of Delhi for what? For writing newspaper columns. Chief Minister's writing newspaper columns was at one point of time regarded as a healthy practice, as a healthy precedent in public life. Rajgopalachari used to write, Karunanidhi used to write, Bal Thackeray used to write, although he was not a chief minister, but eminent people in public life had maintained this healthy habit of expressing their opinions in a public forum. So Sardesai, obviously he hates the LG, he blames him for writing newspaper columns. He also claims that the BJP had used all institutions to gherav the poor Mr. Martyr crusader against corruption, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Even if the BJP did all this, it is because as a chief minister, Kejriwal was doing everything other than governing Delhi.
This was the exact same tweet accusing the LG of making Kejriwal lose by his wife, the eminent MP.
True, absolutely true. Parag, what else Rajdeep says in this last point about alleged level playing field? He says, this is awesome, mate. He says that the BJP said enough is enough. Why did it say enough is enough? It said enough is enough when Arvind Kejriwal tried to expand the Aam Aadmi Party's base in Gujarat, which Sardesai calls is the lion's den. Okay. And to quote Sardesai, in this great genius level political analyst, Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai, Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party lost very badly in Delhi because they tried to expand their base in Gujarat. Let's take a moment and fall off our respective chairs and faint, Parag. So, AAP lost in Delhi because it tried to expand its base in Gujarat.
And the voters punished them for that.
Absolutely. Delhi voters punished Aam Aadmi Party because they were not happy with Aam Aadmi expanding its footprint in Gujarat.
And
this is genius level political analysis.
Absolutely. Made for another planet.
You
not for
see, that's why Mr. Sardesai tops the list in the roll of honor. And he doesn't end at that. Towards the end of his show, Rajdeep also says that we should write off Arvind Kejriwal at our own peril.
This is the most cliched line journalists use.
Extraordinary. Right? In conclusion, let us do an analysis of Rajdeep Sardesai's analysis and conclude that Shri honest journalist Rajdeep Sardesai should have been a stand-up comedian. He is clearly in the wrong profession because with this analysis, he has now joined the ranks of people, absolute morons like Dhruv Rathi.
And there's several genuine talent in stand-up comic world.
Totally.
So he doesn't stand
Totally. So no wonder that Amit Malviya clearly and repeatedly has a lot of fun with this genius named Rajdeep Sardesai. And not only that, I vaguely recall watching some analysis about this Delhi election results. So this guy called Saurabh Dwivedi, the guy from Lalan Top.
Yeah.
So he, Rajdeep and Rahul Kanwal, they were doing this analysis, and in that Rajdeep, as usual, he tries to take off on different
act smart,
and try to steer the discussion on a wild tangent. He said that Saurabh Dwivedi, he was mentioning that Rahul Kaval or some other person was on the BJP beat, and Rajdeep was on covering Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. One of those things. So Sardesai gets very angry. He said, "So are you saying, Saurabh? Are you saying that because we are covering these beats, we are supporters, or we bat for these respective parties?" So Saurabh Dwivedi says, अब इतना भी सच नहीं बोलते हैं कैमरा पे.
It's gone viral.
His own colleagues are doing this, and I guess we can take leave of Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai at this point and look at the next great eminence named Ravish Kumar.
Of course,
another big crybaby who wept and wept and wept over Aam Aadmi Party's loss. इसमें मजा क्या है कि Ravish Kumar is Rajdeep Sardesai's former disciple, and he has now turned into his sworn enemy.
Oh, is that so? No,
yeah. He is mentioned, he has very, very unflattering, unkind words about Rajdeep Sardesai in some interview.
So he too.
It's there on, Okay. So imagine your own Shagird turning against the master. So that takes some qualification on the part of Sardesai. So Ravish Kumar also pretty much echoes his former master and boss in blaming the defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party on the BJP's alleged underhanded tactics and the rest of it. I mean, they all play off from the same script. So what he has done in his analysis, it's there on his YouTube channel, his personal YouTube channel. You can pretty much tune into it. He says the same thing in Hindi, which Rajdeep said in English. And in fact, he goes a step further and he says that the BJP never allowed Arvind Kejriwal to govern Delhi, it seems. Like I said, this man did everything except governing Delhi. As simple as that. And in short, Ravish Kumar blames everything and everyone other than Arvind Kejriwal and his goons and his MLAs and the Aam Aadmi Party's shoddy and horrific governance. And I think we can stop at this and take leave of Ravish Kumar and come to perhaps the most delicious and the most extended meltdown over the loss of the Aam Aadmi Party. So Parag, now let's get to perhaps the most elaborate, prolonged and spectacular media meltdowns over Aam Aadmi Party's deserved loss in the Delhi elections. So this spectacular media meltdown comes from the house of something called Newslaundry, also referred to in popular discourse as Naxal Laundry. Just to give a brief of how this Naxal Laundry started in its initial days, how it operated was that it initially cozied up to the so-called right wing, built up an audience, built up its base, and then it ran begging to a man named Pierre Omidyar, one of the forces of the deep state, and who gave them beak, according to some sources, up to the tune of $20 million. $20 million. And obviously, Newslaundry, Naxal Laundry is running all kinds of agendas, anti-India agendas. And unsurprisingly, Naxal Laundry is also one of the hardcore supporters of the Aam Aadmi Party. One of its denizens is a lady, another honest journalist, neutral media reporter named Manisha Pandey. You must be familiar with her name. She calls the Delhi liquor scam as quote unquote scam.
Quote unquote scam.
Quote unquote scam.
Mean?
Okay. And you should go through Parag and all my dear members in the audience. All of you all have to go through the video link to that Naxal Laundry's analysis of the Delhi Assembly elections 2025, where in the comments, it's hilarious to read those comments. Some people, I mean, not some people, I mean, several hundreds of people have repeatedly said that we are watching this video only to enjoy your meltdown. And someone called her a Sasta Yogendra Yadav.
Such
which
lovely
which
compliments.
which brings me back to this, the real Yogendra Yadav. So if she is a Sasta Yogendra Yadav, the Asli Yogendra Yadav, the expensive Yogendra Yadav, what did he do? Let's examine a small tidbit from a speech that he gave in some university or in some institution just after the BJP got 240 seats in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. In that speech, he openly spoke about some resistance movements, and he asked the audience and the whole nation to just watch the streets carefully in the next few years. And in his own words, republics are never saved inside the parliaments, republics are saved on the streets. Another gem, quote, democracies are like stock markets. Are you going up or are you coming down? And he says that the message to the current government, meaning the Modi government, the message to the current government is that you are going down. Inko to hum dekh lenge.
The sheer audacity.
Openly. These are just some of the tidbits from a long speech that he delivered. And this Yogendra Yadav was an integral part of the Aam Aadmi Party. He and his ideological buddy Prashant Bhushan, before they were kicked out, officially kicked out of the Aam Aadmi Party, imagine. But they are firmly and deeply loyal to the ecosystem that breeds them and feeds them. This Manisha Pandey has been described, like I said, by a commenter as a Sasta Yogendra Yadav. And guess what? In her analysis, she calls a man named Somnath Bharti as an extremely popular and caring MLA. The same Somnath Bharti, remember?
Who's otherwise...
Yeah, who went out with his goons and beat up black people, Africans living in Delhi. Remember that?
And he's also labeled as a wife beater.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another guy in that Naxal Laundry's alleged analysis, he calls Arvind Kejriwal as a bahut saksham leader, a very competent leader. And he further says that Kejriwal might have been defeated now, but he has a next level plan for his party after this defeat, it seems. Okay, great leader. And this same team of Newslaundry has the gumption to describe itself as an ad-free, public-minded journalism and other nice adjectives, and in the same tongue accuse other media houses as Godi media. Even after receiving funding from a guy like Omidyar, it takes some level of shamelessness and gumption. And another eminence on that election analysis panel of Newslaundry, he blames Arvind Kejriwal's defeat. Guess what? Guess what he blames on? He blames it on the deletion of voter names in the New Delhi Assembly constituency.
That's another canard that's
Totally. Okay. And what is the proof he gives? The proof he gives is a report by the Quint, member of the same ecosystem.
Same fraternity,
And, to cut a long story short, here is a list of things that Newslaundry has blamed, apart from all these things that I mentioned. Valmiki voters, they apparently deserted Aam Aadmi Party. The Sheesh Mahal narrative, which was put out by the government.
Oh, narrative.
Yeah, narrative. The Sheesh Mahal does not exist. It exists only in the BJP's narrative. Other, blame game, that includes government workers who had voted Aam Aadmi Party before. Obviously, the favorite punching bag, EVM. Also, on Kejriwal not doing any Janasabhas or public meetings in Muslim constituencies. And you see the tilt, no? Very clear.
It's deep analysis.
Yeah. And of course, the BJP's draconian dark hand using institutions and various ministries solely to defeat Arvind Kejriwal. In fact, they blame everything under the sun except the third-class record of Arvind Kejriwal and his thuggish MLAs and ministers. Everything under the sun except that. Thankfully, they didn't blame Arvind Kejriwal trying to expand his base in Gujarat. They didn't blame Gujarat voters for defeating Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. I said you have to check out the comments on that video. It's really hilarious, if you stress buster. And people are calling Newslaundry in the comments as Aap Laundry. So this is really creative. So I think we can close the meltdown of Newslaundry at this point, because I mean, how much of there is only so much that you can analyze. A meltdown brings great pleasure to all patriots and nationalists and anybody who cares about the country and its well-being, its unity and integrity. And the defeat of the Aam Aadmi Party in the Delhi election is a deserved loss, which, like I said, we should celebrate. And the latest news is that Mr. Honest, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, is trying to get into the Rajya Sabha via backdoor. सेवा करते रहना चाहिए ना आपको,
जनता के पास जाइए वापस.
You are not in Satta, no? Then do this seva. Correct. Why do you want to, try your hand at Rajya Sabha? Clearly, my reading in parting, my reading is that Kejriwal is definitely rattled. He will try to, piece back the shards of his shattered loss and try to make some kind of a comeback in the next few months. But he's also rattled that, see, Aam Aadmi Party, parties like that, non-national parties are one family, 1% parties. That is beyond doubt. And their fortunes rise or fall in direct proportion to that individual
one man,
who has founded, or the dynasty which has founded that party and has ensured its victory and power and all that. So Kejriwal also looks rattled at the loss of his hold over Aam Aadmi Party. And Atishi Marlena was an installed puppet chief minister who can never become a minister again. She's just an MLA. And in Punjab also, Bhagwant Mann is the chief minister, not Arvind Kejriwal. So he's called an emergency meeting, which I can only describe as a damage control and a panic mode meeting that has been arranged. And there are some faint murmurs that sooner or later Aam Aadmi Party might split, because your Kejriwal as a leader, as a person, is only powerful as long as he keeps winning and distributing the goodies of office to his underlings. This kind of defeat, they have climbed down a record of more than 40 seats. They had 62, now they have 22. So how do you climb up from that? And I don't think BJP will keep quiet now, given the kind of things that he has done, not just to Delhi, but the fissures that he has created on the national stage, all kinds of things. And Bhagwant Mann's worrying record in Punjab, a very sensitive border state with Pakistan, with all those drugs and other things, lot of problems out there, very dangerous problems. Let's see. And Bhagwant Mann on his own merit, he cannot get votes, or he can't expand the party's base, even within Punjab or even in or outside it, definitely not in Delhi. Mood and the situation seems to be grim for Arvind Kejriwal, and I hope it remains like that. Now, like I said, the greatest losers in this election are the media houses, are the editors and journalists and his cheerleaders in various newspapers, channels and YouTube guys, whose fortunes have taken a severe beating, and I hope they fade away ingloriously into the sunset.
Thank you, Sandeep. The decimation of a rank incompetent kindergarten government, that too from the national capital, I think is a reason to celebrate. If PM Modi's victory speech is anything to go by, he does drop hints that the first CAG report will be tabled in the first session itself. I think this is the beginning of the further demise of Kejriwal. A lot of skeletons will tumble out of the cupboard. And it'll be fascinating to watch the drop in revenue of the media houses that you just covered, given that they were fattened by taxpayers' money under the AAP regime. So thank you all for joining Dharma Podcast. Please continue to like, share, subscribe, become members of the exclusive content that Sandeep has just rolled out in the recent past, and donate so that more such content can be created and reach a wider audience. Thank you again.